Good evening. How are you today? How is it going with you? Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. I am and I remain your personal guide on this journey of growth. How are we all doing? How is everyone? How is your week so far? I hope you're growing in this week. I hope you're making a difference somewhere. I hope that you're doing the needful. So I just need to do a quick check to ensure that we're live. Okay, yes, I can see that we are live on Facebook. Yes, quick sound check. All right, we are live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. Okay, let me do a sound check there too. All right, so we are live on Facebook. We are live on Instagram. Um, Let me make sure that we are live on LinkedIn. All right, we're live on LinkedIn and we're live on YouTube. So, you have options. You have options. So, join us in any of these platforms today. Um, yeah, so once again, this is Growth Habits with Ngozi. I am your personal guide on the journey of growth. Um, Yes, well, this month of December, we decided to look at reflecting with purpose. That is taking the lessons from this year and helping with those lessons moving into next year in power, in clarity, and all that. So that is our topic. That is our theme for the year, for the month of December. Okay, let me just send a quick message. All right. Okay, so yeah, that is our theme for the month of December. All right. So yeah, that is our theme. And we started this series last week. And we talked about reflecting with purpose last week. That was our topic for last week was reflect with purpose. Okay. I can see that I made a mistake somewhere. Yeah, our theme for December is habits of vision. You see it. When I was saying that thing, I was like, something is not right, but that was what came to my mind and I said it. So I think for December is habits of vision. I kept looking at it. I'm like, something is not right in this that I'm saying. It's last week's session that is reflect with purpose. Yes, please, my apologies on that small error. Okay, so last week we looked at reflecting with purpose, taking the lessons from 2025, and we looked at some key points in that topic. And we looked at one, reflection gives clarity. We considered that reflection strengthens wisdom because we said there was something we said that last week. We said experience is not the best teacher. It's not experience that teaches you, it is evaluated experience that does teach you. So when you reflect, you're evaluating your experiences for that past year, for that past period. Remember that it's not just something you do yearly. You can actually do a reflection weekly. You can do a reflection monthly. You can do a reflection quarterly. But do a reflection. It is a evaluated experience that teaches you, not just experience. Because we experience a lot of things. We do. We experience a lot of things. It's only the ones we sit back and think about that we can take the lessons from. Anyone that just happens and we move on with our lives, we really can't learn much from it. So truly it's evaluated experience that teaches us. We also said that reflection reveals patterns, reveals growth and divine direction. We also spoke about the 5L framework for reflection. That is, you look at the lessons, look at the losses, you look at the lifts, you look at the limits, and you look at the long gains. These were the things that we spoke about last week. If you missed that session, please go to our YouTube page and watch it. Growth Habits with Ngozi on YouTube. All the sessions we have covered are all there. So if for any reason you missed last week's session, go to YouTube, Growth Habits with Ngozi, and you will find it there. If you're on LinkedIn, you can also see our previous live sessions there. They're all there. They're also on Facebook, but the thing is that Facebook deletes after a while. So all these past sessions are no longer on Facebook. But last week's session, still on Facebook, you can quickly go and rewatch that session. Because we're building on what we spoke about last week, today, we're going to build on that foundation. After reflecting, the next thing naturally should be to release, because you have looked at all that's happened. You have looked at the lessons, the losses, the lifts, the limits, the longings of what has happened in the past season, and now you need to let go some things. You need to let go some things. So today's topic is reset and realign. Reset and realign. That's letting go of the things that hold you back, because you've reflected and you've seen some hindrances, you've seen some limitations. So now we're going to reset and we're going to realign. So we're going to let go of some things that ordinarily hold us back. We're going to release, which is the next step. Yes, reflection reveals to you where you need to go, because you've looked at the past, you've found all the lessons. When you realign, it means you're going to rearrange things. And then when you need to reset, it means you got to let go. There has to be some things to let go. There has to be some things to drop, because you really cannot move into your next season carrying all the baggage of the past season. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So please, if you're joining me, do let me know. Once again, let me know if you're joining me. Let me know you're here. Let me know possibly where you're joining me from. I always appreciate when people let me know where they're joining from. So do let me know where you're joining me from as you join. Um, yeah, so today we're looking at reset and realign, resetting and realigning. So what is resetting really? Just a quick definition. I'm trying to make these sessions a little bit shorter so that you can just quickly go through them. I will try my best. It's a work in progress to try and make these sessions just a little bit shorter, because I keep hearing in my head the day I told my daughter to watch my sessions, and she was like, "Mom, it's 1 hour." And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not, for me, the 1 hour goes by so quickly that I don't even realize sometimes that it's up to an hour." But the way she said it's 1 hour, so I have to. I'm in my mind. I've been thinking about it for a long time, and I'm trying to walk it slowly so that by next year we can reduce the time effectively. So today's focus, as I said, is reset and realign. What is resetting? It's just an act of clearing what no longer aligns, what no longer aligns with your values, what no longer aligns with your purpose, what no longer aligns with your next season. You remember, you've done a reflection, and when you clear these things, is so that you can start again in the next season with clarity, understanding what needs to be done, when it needs to be done, how it needs to be done. That is what a reset is. And many people do resets. We go for retreats in churches, in programs, in whatever, and even in offices, we do retreats, and it's for us to reset because it's a time of reflection and resetting. So that is what reset is. It's an intentional act. And in that act of just clearing out what no longer aligns, what no longer works, what no longer meets purpose, what no longer fits into your next season. So, and you're doing this so that you can start the next season with a level of clarity, with a level of clarity. Okay, so that is reset. We said that we're talking about reset and realign. So, what is realignment? What does that actually mean when you say realign? And that is just adjusting your habits, adjusting your priorities, adjusting your relationships. Yes. And to me, most importantly, adjusting your mindset so that you can match the new direction you're going in, so that you can match the new direction God is probably leading you in, the new direction that your life is going in. So that is what realignment is all about. Okay, I can see you on Instagram. Nasigwe, that is the name I'm seeing, and Honorable Tof Efe. Thank you for joining me. I see you on Instagram. Facebook, okay, I can see some people there, but I can't see your names to give you a shout out. So, welcome on Facebook. Thank you for joining me. So, I've defined reset and realign for us so we see what needs to be done. Why do we need to do this reset and realignment really? What is the purpose of it? What purpose does it serve us? One is that it brings mental clarity, because mental clarity increases when clutter decreases. Look, I have seen this in as in physical, real life, not even in as per thought processes. When you clear your table, that your table has a lot of things, a lot of papers, what have you. The day you settle down and rearrange your table, this is just your physical table. The day you settle down and put things in order, have you noticed that somehow things just seem to work that day better than when the table was a mess? There's some people that work in organized mess. That one is quite different. There's some people that if things are not scattered like that, they can't reason. They actually, in the midst of that mess, they know where everything is. That's not quite what I'm talking about. I'm talking about everything. For you to find like one piece of paper, you will go through the whole set, go through the whole table, scatter everywhere, looking for one piece of paper because you don't know where it is. And that's because there was no organization on your table. The day you settle down and arrange that table, things just make sense. I don't know if it has happened to you, but it happens to me. So imagine that in your mental space, in your mind, in your mindset, you have a lot of things happening, and then you take time to declutter. Clarity, clarity. And I also found that neuroscientists have discovered that mental clutter reduces focus and also reduces our decision quality. So definitely, you get more clarity mentally when you declutter, when you take away things, when you reduce the noise, because a lot of things surrounding us is just noise. A lot of things around us is just noise. Kelechi, I see you. Good afternoon to you. I see you on Facebook. Good afternoon to you. So letting go frees cognitive space for vision. So declutter. That is why mental clarity increases when clutter decreases. Two is that you cannot move forward while holding on to backward attachments. You can't move forward. It's like tying a rope to yourself and attaching that rope to something at the back. Then you want to go forward. Even if you do move forward, you can only move forward so far before that rope pulls you back. So you cannot move forward while holding on to backward attachments. The Bible tells us to lay aside every weight So, not even sin per se now. I'm not even talking about sin because this is not about sinfulness and all that. But wait, the clutter from the past season, the past year, the past month, the past quarter, whatever period, you can't move forward while holding on to those things. They will weigh you down, they will slow your journey. Imagine yourself, you're going on for a run, and as you're going for that run, you're carrying one big load on your head, you're carrying backpack, you would be slow. You would definitely be slow. So it will slow you down. You cannot move forward while holding on to backward attachments. Doesn't happen. Then your future requires a different version of you. This, for me, you have to shed old layers. Let me just put it that way. You have to. You must shed old layers. Your future requires a different version of you. This version of you existing today will not be able to survive tomorrow because things change. Things change. We can't help it. Things change. And we have to adapt. We have to be willing to grow because the adapting is growth. We have to be willing to grow, we have to be willing to change because growth changes your identity for sure. It changes your values, it changes your lifestyle. And the old version of you cannot survive. So you must shed old layers. You must shed old layers. Then, when you have a full cup, you can't pour anything more into a full cup. It just wastes. So God Himself cannot fill what is already full. Neither can you in your life add when you're already full of something else. It's not possible. So create space, spiritual space, mental space, create space so that the new things can be added. The new blessings, the new opportunities, new instructions. It's only when you create space that those ones can come. So this is a quick, the other things, this is not all, but this just gives you a quick idea of why we need to reset and why we need to realign, why this is a critical step in preparing for your next level, for your next season, for your next year. Then, as we are talking about that, let's look at some of the things that hinder us, the things that keep us stuck and doesn't allow us to reset, to realign as we should. And I call this the 5 C's of, that keep you tied to your old season. 5 things. One, comfort zone. Hmm. Growth requires that we leave the familiar and move into the unknown. But once you remain or you're comfortable in your comfort zone, growth cannot happen. Because I'm sure we have heard this severally. Nothing grows in that comfort zone. I'm sure we have heard it. I'm sure we have even we're even tired of hearing it. But nothing. When you have a farm, you have to dig the ground. You have to. You can't plant in the ground that is untilled. How do you do that? You can't. So nothing survives in that comfort zone. Even the ground has to be disturbed for you to plant something new. So comfort zone is one of the biggest things that keeps us tied in our old seasons. We're comfortable there. We want to remain there. But growth requires that you leave that familiar place. You need to leave that comfort zone. Two, comparison. When you compare, especially yourself to others, you will remain almost exactly where you have been. Honestly, you can't keep comparing your path to others' paths. It doesn't work. It creates stagnation because what happens is that you start feeling inadequate. It's rare that you compare yourself to others and you don't feel inadequate. I am telling you, it's rare. because someone is always doing better, in quotes. Always. Coach Ify, I can see you on Instagram. Thank you for joining me. And yes, growth changes your identity, changes who you are. Whether we accept it or not, it actually does. So your old self can't survive. It just can't. If you truly want to grow, if you truly want to um, be a better version of yourself, that new version of yourself, the old you can't survive there. It really can't. So I was talking about comparison. You can't keep comparing yourself with others. You leave yourself with a sense of inadequacy. It is rare that you compare yourself with others and you feel triumphant. It's rare. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. It's rare because most times we don't compare ourselves to people who we feel we are doing better than. We compare ourselves with people we know are doing better than us, and then we begin to feel inadequate. The person you need to be comparing yourself with is the old you, not any other person, because you don't know that other person's story. You don't have the full story. You only have a snapshot, a snippet of that person's story. That's all you have. You do not have the whole story. So you can't compare yourself. You don't even know whether the person is on level 1000 and you are at level 100, comparing your level 100 to the person's level 1000. So comparison definitely keeps us stuck where we are. Three is control. Control. We hold on to things because we want to remain in control. We are afraid of the unknown. We don't know what tomorrow holds. We really do not. We cannot really know what tomorrow holds. So we don't want to put ourselves out there. We don't want to lose control. We don't want to lose control of the narrative. We want to remain in control. So we hold on to things because we fear the unknown. The next thing that keeps us stuck at point A and doesn't allow us to move forward is circles, emotional, behavioral patterns that keep repeating, but they only repeat until we confront them. If we don't confront these circles, these emotional, these behavioral patterns that have been existing in our lives that will probably be discovered in our time of reflection, if we don't confront them, they will repeat. And that repeating will keep us stuck where we are. What helps us break those emotional and behavioral patterns, those circles, is confronting them, facing them. Face your fears. We've heard it. We've heard it 1,000 times, but face them. Don't brush them under the carpet. Nothing is gained from that. Don't brush them under the carpet. Then finally, connections. This is another thing that keeps us stuck. Wrong relationships, draining environments, misaligned associations. You're joining yourself to the wrong people. It will keep you at point minus something, not even just at point zero. It's one thing to be at point zero, it's another thing to be at point minus something. And what can keep you there is wrong relationships, draining environments. We must not see, there are some relationships we must outgrow. There are. There are people that I believe some have outgrown me, some have outgrown, and I've moved on. We're not quarreling, we're not friends, but I know, and some of them outgrew me. You understand? And they moved on. I am not holding it against them. Maybe initially I would. I did. Let me never say would. Maybe initially I did hold it against them. That's why, how dare you? But because me, I'm also growing now, I see that there are some connections you outgrow, and you must learn how to let them go with grace. Release them with grace. Let those relationships go. Let them go. So these are the five things. Of course, there are more, but I just compressed it to these 5 things that will hinder us from resetting and realigning: the comfort zone, comparison, control, circles, connections. If you can sit down and work out these things, then you will find that you can grow, you can move forward. Now that we have looked at what can keep us stuck, what must we now let go? We have looked at what can keep us stuck, and we have done our reflection. What are the things that we need to let go before we move into our next season, before we move into our next year, before we move into our next month, next quarter, whatever it is? Number one is old mindsets. Old mindset. Things like victim thinking, fear based decision making, overthinking, procrastination, limited expectations. We must let go of these things. Um, in the group I belong to, that is hosted by Coach Ife, she asked us a question the other day. I want to actually get that question. I didn't know I was going to talk about it. I would have opened it up since I would have opened it up. But it just came to my mind that she asked us a question the other day. And I didn't really, when I saw the question initially, I didn't give it thought. She asked us what we want to stop. What is it that we want to stop in this coming year? And like I said, when she initially asked us that, I didn't give it thought. I looked at it, I was like, okay, I'll think of it. And I didn't until yesterday. Yeah. Yesterday, now a message came in from that group. I'm like, oh, this thing I said I will give a thought. I've never thought about it. So what do I want to stop doing in this coming year? A lot of people said a lot of things. And for me, it is what do I call this now? I'm trying, um, I'm always being the hero, always with my cape, everything to the rescue. And I am seeing that I can't always be the hero. Can't always be the superhero, not even just the hero, the superhero. Because if it's just hero, it's even manageable. It's even manageable. But the superhero, the one that has um, there's no kryptonite even. Unlike Superman that has kryptonite that weakens him. My own superhero, there is no kryptonite, or so I think. That's the point. So I think. That is why I believe there is something that I must stop doing. Because even Superman has kryptonite. So that is one thing I need to really take time and work on. We're talking about old mindsets here. And that is one mindset I need to drop in this 2025 and move into 2026 without, because I cannot save everybody. And even if I attempt to save everybody, I will be the one in the end that cannot be saved. So, hero, superhero mentality, that is something I need to drop. That is one mindset I need to let go. So, what is your own? I gave some example. Procrastination is that's the old mindset you need to drop in this year so they can move into the next year with clarity. Is it victim thinking? Some people are always the victim. I am telling you, they always see themselves as a victim in everything. I was invited to a program last week, and we're talking about insecurity in Nigeria, and they asked me some questions. And for me, the problem of insecurity in Nigeria is not fully resting on the government. The government has a big chunk in dealing with that issue, very large chunk. But also, there is this mindset of Nigerians. I have seen it. I am one. I've, when I say I've always been one, I understand it. It's the mindset of it never reached me, never reached me. And as long as it never reached me, they can deal with it themselves. And so we never really face the facts of the situation because, never reached me now. Mindsets, old mindsets that we need to let go of. And victim thinking, we always think, oh, the government is against us. If the government did better, the government can put in good policies. They actually can. It's not as if they can. I don't know why they are not, but they can. But if the ordinary everyday Nigerian is not ready to face the consequences, I say this because there are consequences of living in a life of integrity. There are consequences of doing the right thing until the everyday Nigerian is also ready to face those consequences, to not be able to take the kickbacks that we're getting used to. Until the ordinary Nigerian is ready to take those steps, whatever the government does will never be enough. Victim thinking, that is where I'm coming from. And a lot of us also carry that about in the everyday life. If things are going wrong in the office, is because they are victimizing me. We don't even sit to think that maybe I'm doing something wrong. They are victimizing me. It's because I'm a Christian, because I was praying in the office. That's why they are victimizing me. No, it's because you're using official time. You can pray in the office. I pray in my offices. All the offices I've ever worked with, I take out time to pray, but I do it before work starts. I do it during my break time. I don't use official time. Okay, I can pray in my mind during official time, yes, but I will not, in the middle of work, begin to hold a prayer meeting. No, it's either I do it before or during my break time. So they're not victimizing because you're a Christian. They're victimizing because you're not being productive and you're making use of official time. That for something you really shouldn't use official time for. Remember, I'm not saying that you cannot sit in your chair while you're doing your work. You're speaking to God. You're making declarations over your office. You can do that. But that should not affect your work. It can't even affect your work if you're doing it right. You will be more productive. Victim thinking is what I'm talking about here. Victim thinking. Okay, I've spent so much time here. Yeah, victim. I've spent a lot of time on it because I know it is something that we face as a people. I know a lot of people that are here. So the things we're letting go of, old mindsets, emotional weight, see resentment, see unforgiveness, unresolved conflicts. We must drop these things. If we truly want to make any real progress in the coming year, in the coming season of our lives, we can't carry resentment. We can't carry unforgiveness. We can't carry unresolved conflicts. They will be the weight that will draw you back. So, old mindsets or emotional weight. Number 3, misaligned relationships. Anyone who drains your joy, anyone who fights your growth, will I say physically or emotionally, however they are fighting your growth, anyone that confuses your identity, anyone that pulls you out of alignment with purpose, out of alignment with what God has proposed for you, please, that relationship is misaligned. Let it go. Let it go. So that you can move into your next season. So they can move into the next year. Misaligned relationships. The next thing is unproductive habits. Now, this is our own issues. Scrolling without purpose. See this phone. Oh my God, this phone is a blessing, is a curse. Scrolling without purpose. I used to have games on my phone. I used to have games because I love to play games. They are not even mindless games per se. I like games like Cody Cross, crossword games. Mhm. So they make me think. Yes, they do. But I also find that I was spending hours, hours on the phone, pressing phone, playing those games. At the point I deleted everything. I've told us that I deleted all my social media at a point from my phone. So if I ever want to scroll, if I ever have to come to a laptop or to my tablet, then and I don't carry my tablet about. I deleted Facebook, Instagram, everything from my phone. So because it was becoming an unproductive habit. I can't afford to do that now because of all these growth habits that I do. I need to be able to see what's happening. But even now, you can I have to, let me not say I have to tell myself, okay, it's time to get off of Facebook. So, there are times people will be like, this happened. Didn't you hear? I'm like, no. Say, but I saw your post on Facebook. I say, yes, I post and go away. I post and run away from there because all it takes is, okay, let me just check. Before you know it, hours have gone. Scrolling without purpose, unproductive habits. Check them. We have them. I only mention this one because this one is personal to me too. Scrolling without purpose, lack of boundaries, inconsistency. There are so many. Check unproductive habits. These are the things we need to let go of to move into a new season. Old mindset, emotional weight, misaligned relationships, unproductive habits, and now this last one, good things that are no longer God things. Good things that are no longer God things. We need to let them go. Things, they've worked. Remember, they're good things, they're not bad things. So they've worked before, but they are no longer for the next season of your life. Look for them, let them go. They're not bad things. Remember, these ones are harder to let go of because, like I said, they are not bad. So you're not going to just, when you're doing something, when you have a bad habit, in quotes, you can say, I need to stop this. But this is actually a good thing, but it is no longer a God thing. Find them, let them go. In this year that we are moving into, this new season of your life, you do not need those. You do not need them. So do let them go. Good things that are no longer God things. Very important. Very important. Now, in realigning, basically everything we've talked about up to now is like to reset. It's part of the reset. To realign, we've reset to. To realign, we need to one, recognize. We need to identify what is truly out of alignment. This kind of flows from the good things that are no longer God things. You must identify what is out of alignment in our lives. This is the 4R framework to truly realign yourself, to be able to, realign your purpose, your time, your everything. One is recognize what is truly out of alignment, identify it. Two, release. Let go intentionally, prayerfully. We talked about this just in the last portion of this session. Recognize, release, let go intentionally. Drop them prayerfully. If you're a Christian, let go, then replace old habits with healthy vision aligned ones. Replace. So you can't just recognize and release. How is it they put it? Nature abhors a vacuum. We can't have vacuum, so you must replace. You must replace. So recognize, release, replace, reinforce. Create routines, create systems, create accountability that will help you maintain the alignment that you have seen. What some practical things that realignment can be? One is like to realign your spirit, and you can do that by reading the Bible more, praying, worship over worry. That one, as I saw that, I was like, not easy to do, but so, so gratifying. Worship over worry, listening for God's voice. This is to align your spirit, to align your spirit. Then to align your habits, you can, better sleep, better sleep. I never realized the effect sleep has on productivity. I mean, I used to work, no, sleep late, woke up early, move on with life. But sleep, better quality sleep, not better even length per se now. It's good to get 8 hours if you can, but it's not, most time, not really possible. But if you have quality 6 hours of sleep, quality, you can achieve much more. Plan your day, plan your week, plan your month. Don't just jump into the day. Plan it. Simplify your routines. Don't make things too complicated. Set boundaries. These are the things you will do that will help you in realigning. For your relationships, strengthen relationships that improve you, relationships that build you, relationships that point you in the right direction. Strengthen them. Release unhealthy ones. Just let them go. You are not quarreling with the people, please. You're not, cutting people off as in, I will never talk to this person again. No, you're shifting. You're realigning your connection with that person. You're redefining what it means to have a connection with so and so person. Look for help, look for mentorship, look for counsel. So important. Then to realign like your environment, declutter your home, rearrange things, clean up everywhere. Declutter your workspace, declutter your digital space. These things will help your mind. And realign your assignment, the purpose for which you are on this earth, the reason why you are here. Know it, and then stop doing the things that don't match that. Stop doing the things that don't match it. I'm saying it sounds easy, but it's not that easy, but it is essential. It is important. It's very important. Okay, so in trying to wrap up this session, trying to bring this session to a close, I want to ask us some questions. As I ask you, I ask myself. Their reflection is like a reflection exercise. As you're preparing for 2026, what is the heaviest weight that you're carrying from this 2025? What is the heaviest weight? What habits, what mindsets must I release this year before I go into next year? Who or what is pulling me out of alignment? Identify them. What do I need to surrender? Especially, what is God asking me to surrender? And where do I need to realign my focus, my priorities, my energies? If we can sit with these questions, you don't even have to ask yourself all of them. One or two will get you where you need to be really. But if we can ask ourselves this question, we truly sit with them, you truly ponder on them, we will find we'll find the, will I say, the road that leads us to realignment, clarity, productivity in the coming season of our lives. So, going forward in this week, do a personal reset audit. Ask yourself, what must I stop? What must I start? What must I continue? Basically, do that personal reset audit. Set a release day. This one is important because if we don't set a day, we will never do it. We will never do it. So set a release day. Choose one day. One day. And the aim is to let some things go. Maybe it's a habit, maybe it's an item, maybe it's a toxic pattern, maybe it's a commitment. Something, set a day. You call it your release day, and let go what needs to be let go. Release what needs to be released. Then create a realignment routine. Create a routine that will help you realign yourself. It could be doing morning devotion, it could be journaling, it could be planning your day, it could be praying, it could be doing a weekly check-in with your mentor, with your counselor. Create a realignment routine, something that will help you realign. And as a person of faith, pray. Ask God to show you what no longer aligns with your purpose, with His purpose for your life. Ask Him. Ask Him also to give you the strength and the courage to release what needs to be released and the wisdom you need to be able to realign to His purposes for your life. Remember, as a person of faith, very key, very important. And as I round up today's session, I want us to know that resetting is not a sign of weakness, that you're doing a reset. No, it is never a sign of weakness. It is truly a sign of wisdom. And then when you realign, is this realignment is just your way of partnering with God for the next level. So, what are you letting go of this week? What are you letting go of in this season of your life? What are you letting go of in this year? So that you can move forward in the next season, in the next year, with clarity. Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear. I've given us an example of something I am letting go of. I'm working on letting go of. Let me know in the comments. What are you actually going to release? What are you going to do to realign in this coming season? I think I'll bring this session to a close here. And to let us know that our next session coming up next week, Tuesday, we're going to be talking about crafting a vision, setting God-aligned goals. Very important. Because this is like, we're now moving from a point of we've received clarity. We're now going to form some strategies to remain aligned to fulfill the things that we have planned. So I look forward to seeing you next week, Tuesday. And remember to make today and every day count, be valuable, and ensure that you are always growing. Please follow us on all our social media handles. Follow us everywhere: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube. I'm seeing a comment on Instagram. Good things, okay, they are no longer God things. This God is telling me that not all things that are permissible are beneficial. Yes, there are some good things that are no longer God things. Let them go. Let them go. So thank you all once again for joining me this afternoon on Growth Habits with Ngozi. I will see you once again next week, Tuesday, 1 p.m. Remember, 1 p.m. is the time. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, the venue. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. I've said this before. Subscribe to our YouTube channel because there you will get all the old sessions from session 1 to this session 134. They are all there. Thank you all once again and see you next week, Tuesday, right here on Growth Habits with Ngozi. Bye.